Hi guys, welcome to Learning Electronics Repair. It's just an average day at the workshop today. Got a few odds and ends to look at. This is the first one. Resound or Resound. Not totally sure what this is. G&N hearing. I mean, I could go and look that up and no doubt it would tell me what it is, but it don't really matter because the problem is a broken USB socket there, okay? This is one from Handy Andy, and he brought me that, so he says that's the correct one. I think we'll just have to just replace that on it probably. Probably this will work then. So, how do we get into it? Don't see any screws. I think it's just all held together by clips. Okay, let's get the spudger and let's see what happens. I think maybe this piece comes off and then maybe there's some screws underneath it. Let's have a look. So yeah, that just clip. Okay, stick something in there. Or just hold it. Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay. And I was right, there were some screws under it, so that's how we get into it. These are like little, yeah, a bit like Allen key type hex things, I think. Or star shaped ones. I'm sure I can find something that'll fit in there. Okay guys, so the whole thing unclipped and came apart easily enough once those two screws are out. This is the PCB, so this is where the connector goes. Now what I've noticed straight away is that, so that's sticking up in the air. Is that supposed to be soldered down here? I mean, I don't see why it shouldn't be soldered. But if you look at it, just bend that up a bit, it looks like it's never been soldered. I think if that had been soldered down there, it might have kind of left a line there. Maybe it has, it's just so faint you can't see it. I can't see why that wouldn't be soldered down there because it's not like insulated. It's going to touch it quite possibly when the other board lifts up anyway. Just pressure. Comments below guys, but that looks like, to me, it was never soldered. I think I probably should solder it. Okay, so this is the broken connector and this is what he put in the bag with it. And I'm thinking now actually this is probably the original one, it's not a replacement one. So have a look at it. Yeah, this has been soldered down before, so that must have come off there. So maybe he's thinking I can just refit that one. Actually, let's have a look inside it. Connections. Well, it's not broken. It's just broken off the board. The legs are quite short. Clearly that does fit on there, yeah. I'll have a look to see if I've got any replacement ones. If I haven't, I'll see if I can refit this one. I have like a whole pack of different ones of these, so maybe I have something that fits. I bought a whole load of these from AliExpress. You can see there's lots of different sorts in here. So let's see if one of these looks like that one. Well, would you believe it, but I have all those different types and none of them would fit the same as this. Most of them have the pins on the wrong side, so like the narrow end of the connector fits the board. In other words, they fit that way up, upside down to this, yeah. The one or two that are this way round don't have the pins flush at the bottom, so all in all, not what I used to me. So we'll put this one back on. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Let's see. So first thing, let's just clean the old solder off, put some fresh leaded solder on here, okay. A little bit of braid. Okay. Okay, that looks nice and flat and clean with leaded solder on it. Let's see. The difficulty with this one is I can't easily see the pins. Okay, I think I have it now. And how far back it fitted. The hole in the back was fairly big, so I think it must stick forwards to a fair extent, otherwise it won't come through. That looks about right. Looks like it was probably soldered there. Okay. I'll just try and prop something on it to keep it straight, otherwise I have to hold it in a little, like a third hand thing. Okay. It's this on the back that's really stopping it from staying straight, but let me balance it up on something. Okay, let's see if we can just solder one end of this down. If we just get one end to hold, shouldn't be too difficult then. Let's see. Knowing my luck, the whole thing will move. And it did. Huh, but just as luck with that, it didn't move too far. The pins are in the right place. Okay. That's close enough, guys. I'll try a bit of tape just if I can hold this thing down to the bench. That might be the better bet. I'd like to move that slightly, but knowing my luck, it's going to effectively move too far and I'll have to start again. We can take a look under the microscope, let's see. So if I was being perfectionist, that actually wants to move acrossways slightly, but if I'm being pragmatic, that is good enough. So I think I'll stick with pragmatism. I'll hold the other end of it down, hit this end, and then we'll see if we can use a bit of drag soldering to get those all to solder down. Okay. This time I will actually clamp this in the third hand, hopefully make it a little bit easier. Let's see. Plenty of flux in there. I don't need much solder, otherwise I'm going to end up with solder bridges everywhere, so let's just try and get a little bit. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, looks like I've got one solder bridge to deal with that one. Okay, no, still there. Bit more flux. Proving tricky. Sometimes they do. There. Okay. Let's clean that up. Best way to test this, I find, is just to take a socket, an old one, stick it onto a USB cable and then plug the other end into here. Now I can just use the multimeter and just check the continuity and shorts from either end just to make sure it's okay. Okay guys, that test through, so happy with that. No shorts, just check. No, definitely not a short, but from the power to the ground reads about 40 ohms, climbing up a little bit. 30, 40 ohms, I think just have a bad connection maybe. Yeah, maybe down as 15 ohms, that's quite low, to be quite honest. Let's just have a closer look under the microscope. So there's the connector. Well, they're clearly all soldered, there's no short, so that is the resistance I'm reading of the device itself. And I have no idea what it should be. It's a little bit lower than I thought it might be, but that's what it is. Okay. I'll put a bit more solder just here and there because that was soldered before. Then we'll put it back together. This wire, I'm going to solder it on. I can't imagine any reason why it shouldn't be soldered. If it wasn't supposed to be connected, it would be cut off, I'm sure, so we'll solder that as well. Okay, so that's soldered on. This is soldered on the front and rear mounting lugs. It looks good. Yeah, that's just fine down in there. Happy with that. Okay, so I can only really put this back together. I don't know whether it should read as low as that, to be quite honest. I mean, there is like a processor type thingy, this Cirrus Logic chip. It could read fairly low, but then you wouldn't expect that to run on the 5 volts on the USB. You'd expect there to be some sort of buck converter on it, but I don't see any coil, to be honest. So I've kind of like eliminated the thing I expected to find. Yeah, so maybe this does just read fairly low when it draws a little bit of power when it's running. Okay, so we can put this one back together and this can go back to the customer. I've certainly completed the work I was asked to do, which was to fit a socket. And for those of you who like to see the thing put back together, there it is. Buttons are operating fine, and you can see the socket is just fine. Okay, I have some similar work to do now, I think. Let's have a look. Well guys, next job. So these were brought in by Kelly, who plays guitar and allegedly sings and local bars. Yeah, nice guy, best heard from a distance. Okay, and we have 3 of these. So this one says parts, so he's basically saying I can use this one for parts. This one, the rotary encoder doesn't like click, so that one does click, but not brilliantly actually. Okay, and this one they're saying replace, and I think what he wants replacing, as I remember now, is these 2 buttons. So he's saying I can use parts from that one to fix these other 2. This one clicks nicely. Okay, yeah, that doesn't. This I think is iffy. You guys can't tell, I can feel that for some of the rotation doesn't make clicks, and then it does. Okay, I'll take this one apart. Let's see what sort of rotary encoder this is. I have some rotary encoders. Yeah, these ones don't press down. Okay, I might be able to fix that anyway, so let's start with this one. Once again, we have some funny screws in this. Okay, so we're into this one. Yeah. Looks like we have to unscrew that. Oh, well maybe this comes off. I think there's 2 PCBs here. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's like a pin header thing here that pulls into there. That's the 2 PCBs. And the rotary encoder is going to be down here. Okay, I think this will either push outwards or upwards. Outwards, I think this one. Okay. Yep. I think this is being held down by the knob, that one here. Yep, that's what it was. Okay. Let's have a look. Looks like this is split apart from there. This is like a rubbery thing. Oh, okay, so these buttons are not like proper buttons where it says replace, unless he thinks to take this whole thing off the other one. Okay. Let's unsolder this encoder and let's see what we actually have here. Yeah, that's just coming out, guys. Just a little bit of pressure, not much. Same with these three. May have to use some braid or even the desoldering tool on this. Yeah, it's not coming easily. Okay, you can see what's happened with this. Okay, let's try the desoldering gun. This should hopefully make a fairly quick job of this. Yep. Let's see if this will just come out now. Yeah. Okay, so I do have some rotary encoders, but I'm not sure if they're the same as this one. Well, they're actually very similar. This has 2 extra pins on here, but that's because these push down. So these 2 connections effectively are the switch. But we can ignore that and just use those 3. See if those will actually fit. I mean, they're thicker than the original ones. This depends how flush they are. But the one and the one he said to exchange it doesn't seem very good to me. It doesn't click as it turns only part of the way. Other option, have a quick look at this, see what's inside it, see what's wrong with it. Maybe this just has like a mechanical issue. Which is a pain in the butt, because I'm not a very good mechanic, yeah. Let's see. There we are. It's obviously got like dried up beer or something into it. Yeah, you can see, it's horrible. So this looks like it's bent to me. That's why I'm not getting any click action. I'm still not getting anything. I do think we're going to get very far with that one, guys. Okay. Let's see if this actually does fit. I mean, it's not a problem just to fit it on the board. If the thing will bolt together, then we can just try it. I'm pretty sure this would work. So these 2 we can just bend out of the way. So I've just pushed that into position at the moment. I haven't soldered it. I'm just interested to see if this physically will fit correctly. Put this on here, yeah, like so. Okay, so actually that doesn't, it won't go far enough in. Yeah. That's not going to work, and I don't think there's any point taking the one off the one that said to salvage because it just didn't feel good to me. We can have a go, of course. Otherwise, guys, it's AliExpress. Just looking at this one, this is not the one for parts. The one that said replace, and I thought he meant these buttons, but you can see he's put X marked on here, the same as he did with the rotary encoder on the other one. So these are the buttons that need replacing. This is the one for parts, so we definitely have some buttons in there we can use. I guess this must work, otherwise he wouldn't say to use it, so let's give it a go. If that doesn't work, then yeah, fair enough, I have to order one. So we can salvage some parts from this. It won't start, so he says. I mean, obviously I can look at it to see why, but the customer told me what he wanted, so fair enough. Okay, here we are. I think in actual fact, I might just put the other board in this one that says replace the switches. I mean, I could take these switches off, I guess. Yeah, you know what, guys, do what the customer wanted. Let's see how easily these do come off. You know what, guys, these don't look like they come off too easily to me. I can't seem to move that piece. I think I will actually just replace the whole top. So that's the one we can take the encoder from. This has something rattling around inside it. I wonder if it's off those switches. This has different screws as well, like somebody's been messing with this one. These are completely the wrong screws, they're self-tappers. And this one, that screw is so chewed up you can't even get into it, look. Yeah. So I think this is going to require the Dremel. Well, guys, usually that works, but it's just breaking up. I mean, I got a slot into it, trying to get the slotted screwdriver, but it's not having any of it. Try it again. Nope. Absolutely solid. But I end up having to drill this one out. So I just get to break up the top part. No. Try a drill. Well, guys, you can see it doesn't want to give it up totally easily, but it is going to give it up. Okay. Right. That's kind of like soft now, what's left of that. So I might get us apart with a little bit of brute force. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I'll clean up all that mess off the bench and then let's have a look. Okay, so this is the top off the one that says won't start, which is now going to go basically have this built into it. This being the one with the 2 top switches. So okay. More screws rattling around inside this.
Stay here.
Sorry?
Oh, you're not recording. Okay. So I thought I was stepping into the
I'm not. Well, stop it for that. I'm just in the middle of this. But give me 5 so I don't mix everything up now where I am.
No. I didn't want to interrupt. Just was curious.
Yeah, swapping bits around basically. So,
Keep swapping.
That makes sure that I swap the right bits with the right ones. Okay, so this one comes off there and goes onto that. This one, by the way, is one I've repaired before, I think, or somebody has. That rotary encoder has definitely been changed. Okay, so this should be a good one now. I can just make sure it powers up and then get rid of that. Feels okay on the rotary encoder, but that one was okay anyway. Yeah. Yeah, feels fine. So can't do anything much with that, but I can put the correct bolts back in. Let's see if that comes on. Just before we do this, you notice this connector here. So the negative is in the middle. So I just want to make sure this power supply is actually wired the right way round. Okay, it doesn't actually say. Yeah, it's the right way round, minus 12 in the center. Good. Okay. So that's a good one. Well, I can't get rid of the marker pennies put on it, but that one is working. So this is the top of the 2 bad switches. And this is the one with the, yeah, sort of working rotary encoder. So let's get the encoder off this one. And then we have, this is the dead unit basically. I was just wondering, because of the reverse polarity of this connector to the normal polarity, whether this might have been damaged by a wrong power supply. But if you look down here, I'm thinking, is there a diode? I was wondering if that was it, but it says L6, so that is an inductor. See where the power comes in. This looks like a diode, but the wrong way round. I'm just interested, while the other desoldering gun's heating up, if there's some sort of protection on this. Well, it doesn't go to here from the power in. Okay, this is the positive end. Oh, okay, yeah, so the positive end, which is that, does in fact come down to here, and this is then forward bias. So there is a diode just there. Let's go to diode mode. Yeah, it reads like a Schottky diode. You can't see it, guys, but that's what it is. Show you. So this hasn't just been damaged by having the wrong power supply put into it. And I don't think it was a case that somebody like Kelly tried it with the wrong power supply, because he has the correct one, which he built in with these, so he obviously does know which is the correct one. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this. Yeah, it looks like it just pushed into the board, didn't break off. I don't think. Okay, let's see. So, yeah, out it comes. Oh, did break off. Happens sometimes, guys. I'll be able to solder this. Okay, so we'll put the encoder on here. I'll just make sure it is completely flat. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is working because I'm turning the encoder, getting different things. Okay, so that is working. So guys, job done basically. And that's half a day's work then, guys. Time for lunch now. Time to end this video. This is fairly typical again of the sort of work I have coming through the workshop. As you can see, it doesn't have to be difficult, just some basic soldering skills. In this case, just swap a few parts around, get 2 good ones out of 3 bad ones. Customer's happy. I'll make enough money for me to be happy. He will definitely have saved money on buying more of these things. And jobs are good, as they say. Jobs are good. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Just another insight to my daily work. We'll do this again soon, and I look forward to seeing you all on another Learning Electronics Repair video. Ciao for now, guys.